Hello everybody, Azurify here with a new episode of EvenfallTask, my hardcore Iron Man Taskman account. I want to apologize first off for there not being any videos throughout the entire month of July. Basically, it's been quite a bit since I've had anything come out. I unfortunately was extremely busy throughout the entire month of July. I was both planning my wedding and eventually having the wedding about a week ago. Everything went well, but that takes a lot of time. And I also had a schooling program that I was doing where I wasn't even home, so I wasn't able to record even if I, had time. I couldn't record anyway. But I figured I would start off with a quick recap so we can figure out where we are and what we're doing. We had just barely broken into the easy tier. If I swap you over to the task site, we can see our new task is to obtain the Kippled Nano Pet. So we've got a few quests to do. We're 2.71% of the way through easy tier, so we had basically just begun. We're 31 passives away from being able to get into medium tier that we're going to need to do while we progress through the easy tier, but we'll figure those out as we go. The task requires the Heart of Stone quest, which means we do have some other quests to do. If I come here and show you, Heart of Stone requires Rune Memories, which requires Rune Mysteries, which I haven't done yet. And then it also requires Carnelian Rising, which I haven't done yet. I have all of the requirements to do all of the quests. I don't need to do any levels or anything, so that's good. But it's going to take a bit to do those quests. This 3 here, the follows events of, they're not required to actually do the quest. It's just for a story, so we don't have to worry about those. But that's what I'm going to need to do, is to start those quests. I'm here at Player Owned Farm. I was getting everything set back up, and then I also did a small amount of bank cleanup, and by that I mean I basically grabbed all of the salvage I had in my bank because I was pretty poor. I only had 300k. I alked it all. We're up barely over a mil, so we've got that going for us. And then I do want to do a quick stat recap with you guys so you know where we are standing in terms of stats. We've got our melee skills, both attack and strength, are at 62. I remember I was working on them mainly when I had combat tasks, so that once we get there we'll be able to get into the Warriors Guild so I can get the defenders, which will happen in this tier, I believe. 59 constitution, not too shabby, it's decent. 45 mining, 40 agility, 33 smithing, 51 defense is okay. 48 herb lore, that's where most of my rewards go, is we toss it into herb lore. That's why it's decently high. But we're pretty much, for everything else, we're mainly 30s, mid 30s to low 40s in a lot of them. Some of them, like farming, which is passive, we're up at 53. And then every taskman's favorite skill, fletching, it just has so few tasks compared to other things. We're at a solid level 10. So that's about it. I'll pop up the stats on the screen here so you can look at them for a minute if you want to make sure you know the levels to everything. But we're doing pretty decent. This is pretty much what you expect from being where I am in this easy tier. But I'm going to start questing and we are going to get to work. I might check in with you after every quest. I might just check in with you at the end of the quest. We'll see how long they take and how I feel about it. But it's time for me to get to work. So this should be the end of Rune Mysteries. Next up is going to be Rune Memories. The rewards for Rune Mysteries is basically nothing. We got some Mind Runes, an Air Talisman, and 250 Magic XP. You also get the level 1 Mind Spike that can be tuned to any element, which is okay. It's actually technically a tier 6, and we got the hat in the title, but they're basically useless. But time to move on to Rune Memories. After a pretty heavy cutscene quest, we finish Rune Memories. We get 300 Magic XP, 300 Rune Crafting XP in the first Tower Robes, and we also have access to the Rune Essence chest. That will be very useful. I'll show that off to you guys right now. If you come to not the very top of the tower, but Archmage Sedrador's office, there's this rune chest here, and you can open it And as you can see right now, mine contains 1,625 pieces of pure essence. Every time you get a level in runecrafting, you get more and more essence. So currently I'm only level 25, but each time I get a runecrafting level, I can get more pure essence. So if you are a taskman and you need pure essence for your account, come here first and check to see if you have any in the chest that you haven't claimed. Because it's a lot easier to just grab this than it is to go kill something or to mine it. But that's just something to keep in mind. The first tower robes, they aren't very useful. They're very low level, but they look all right. So if you want fashion, you can do that. But it is now time for me to move on to Carnelian Rising, I believe, is the next one. I've got that, and then finally Heart of Stone. Carnelian Rising isn't a bad quest, but it takes an okay amount of time. But I'm going to make my way there and get that going. So this should be the end of Carnelian Rising. We get our rewards, and we search this chest quick to grab them all. However, I'm in a bit of a rush because a bloodwood tree just spawned, so I want to run over there because, as a reminder, I'm sure you guys remember, but I am allowed to do the first part of the evil bloodwood tree, the farming part, even if I don't have any kind of task or anything for it. So I'm going to run over here, because those reward bags, there's always a chance of getting something good. But I'll check back in with you guys in a minute and we can talk about the actual rewards for Carnelian Rising, and then I will move on to the final quest for this task, which is Heart of Stone. So the event, I just finished the one thing I can do. I'm teleporting out. But we got a couple lamps that I believe can be used on any skill. So let's figure out. They are indeed, and it's 1500 XP per. It looks like they need to be a certain level. They have to be level 30 or higher, but I'm just going to toss both of these on herb lore. No level for it. I don't think this Carnelian history book is anything but lore, so I can destroy it. And then we got 10 mahogany planks, 30 teak planks, and 100 oak planks. Useful for construction, honestly, not bad. We got a note from Philippe, so that's just more lore. We got the sweets, which are 5 purple sweets, not much. The money pouch, which is 5k, not bad. I don't know if I was supposed to open that or not, but I did. We'll find out later, I suppose, if there's a task for it. If I did, whoops. And then we got the treasure chest as well, which we can use to bury things for events and stuff. Not too useful, but that is Carnelian Rising complete. Let me bank everything. Let's open this sack of wild rewards while I'm here. Some salamanders and some bloodweed seeds. The bloodweed seeds are nice. The salamanders not so much, since I already have a decent amount. I don't think they're useful for anything really. Maybe some invention components. But I am now going to move on to the final quest for my task, which I do believe is Heart of Stone. Let me scroll down and find it. Yes, I've got all the requirements. Ability to fight some things, and here are the rewards, and this is the one we're after, is the Kipple Nano Pet. So I'll see you guys in a bit once this quest is done. In the chat box you can see that I have finished Heart of Stone, and I need to go back to the Wizard Tower to talk to Ariane to get Kipple, it sounds like. So let's head there. I don't think I got all of the lamp that says I'm supposed to get. I'm supposed to get some combat lamps, but I had food in my inventory, so I didn't. So maybe Ariane will give those to us when we talk to her here at the old tower. But we did get a 1500 XP lamp in magic, and then a 1500 XP lamp in runecrafting, which actually gave us a couple levels. Let's talk to Ariane. Yes, we did get the couple extra combat lamps, and we got the Kipple Nano Pet, as you can see in the chat. And if I open my pet interface, we can scroll through. Here it is. Cute little Kipple pet. That is the end of this task, however. So, finally, after a month of not playing, we can continue moving on through the easy tier. We got the Kipple Nano Pet after the Heart of Stone quest. Let's complete this task. And let's generate a new one and see what we're going to get. This new one is going to be a quick one. We need 31 hunting, which we are already 33, and I need to get 3 Larupia furs to make the Larupia outfit. So this will be pretty quick. So hunting those Larupias actually took longer than I thought it was going to, just because of the sheer amount of times I failed. I don't know if it's tied to hunter level. I would assume so, and that's why I failed so much, because I barely have the level to actually hunt them. But we did end up getting a hunter level, and also I forgot to use these combat lamps from the Heart of Stone quest. It looks like I can throw them on summoning, so I'm just going to do that. It's only 1000 XP, so not much, but it did get us a level up to level 38. But we are now here at the fancy dress shop. Let's go to the first shop. I need the hat, the top, and the legs. And there we go. We have the whole Larupia set. So we can go to the task site. We can mark this task off and get a new one. Our new one is to find a unique gem or insect while thieving in Menaphos. I already got the Kelphite Wanderer and Amber. I'm going to have to check where Waconite, Hornless Unicorn Fly, and Fly Dragon can be gotten. It says the Fly Dragon's from stalls. I don't remember if there's another one at the Gullible Tourist that I need or not, but I will meet you in Menaphos once I have figured out what I'm going to thieve. I quickly checked the wiki, and it looks like Waconite is from the Gullible Tourist, so I'm just going to double check my bank quick to make sure it's not sitting there, and the Menaphos journal to make sure I haven't accidentally gotten it. And my cat is in the way of my monitor now, but I will check and thief, and then I'll see you once I get whatever insect or gem I end up getting. Took us a little bit. We got a couple thieving levels up to level 50, and we got 6 small Menaphite gift offerings, but we have the Waconite in our inventory, so let's check that. We've got the gem marked off, and that's our task completed. Let's make sure I mark off the right one on the drop down. Waconite, complete this task, and let's move on to our next one. Our next one is to obtain a Herald Cape. This is going to be very quick. I think we just go talk to like the Lumbridge Herald and grab one. Yeah, we don't even need to do anything special, so this is a quick teleport to Lumbridge. Find the Herald, who is up here, Herald of Lumbridge, talk to her and get a cape. And very quick task. If I can see what the dialogue choices are. Yes, give me a cape. And we've got all of the unlock requirements except for Myths of the White Land, it seems, but it doesn't say to unlock those. It just says to get the Herald Cape, which we did, and now I'm going to destroy it because I don't need one. But that is that task completed, so let's finish that quick and grab a new one. We're back to the Gnome Restaurant delivery service. We still haven't gotten Grand Seed Pod, the goggles, or the scarf, and we've got a few chef outfit pieces. I also want to double check. I don't believe I've actually done fishing contest because I didn't get it the first time. I have not. So if I get a Captain Ninto delivery, I can do fishing contest, but we will see if that happens. But I'm going to make my way over to the Grand Tree for some Gnome Restaurant fun. Well, we did the first delivery. We got one single delivery. It was to deliver a wormhole to Professor Manglethorpe here in Keldegrim, and we got the sous chef mitts. So that is this task completed very quickly, as a matter of fact. We've got the sous chef mitts. That was one delivery. Unfortunately, no fishing contest, but that was an easy task done. And our next one is to get the boon of sparkling energy. So I need to check my bank just in case I have the energies already for this, but this should be a relatively quick task. We already have the div level, which is level 40, and I honestly don't remember what energies are given to you from the Wilderness Flash events. If it is glowing or sparkling, we'll be able to do this very quick. so I'm just gonna check the bank quick for glowing or sparkling energies. I feel like one of them has to be the one. Glowing, we have 27. Sparkling, we have 758, which I believe is enough. So let's withdraw these. And let's go to glowing energy products, boon of sparkling energy. And that task is ticked off. Another very easy one. Let's get a new one. Oh god. Chompy birds. I need to get 125 chompy birds. Let me grab my ogre bow quick and see how many we've killed. We've done 70, so this is 55 more kills. I am low on ogre arrows, so I'm gonna make a decent amount of these first, and then I'm gonna go kill some chompies. Do I have any cannon balls? Have I even done dwarf cannon? I haven't even done dwarf cannon, so I don't have a cannon yet. Well, time to go kill some chompies. I'll be back in a bit. The chompy massacre has been completed. If I check my bow, I have killed a total of 125 chompy birds exactly. I have the marksman title, so I am allowed to get the hat. I guess I'll run over there quick and grab it, even though I don't really need to. But I will, however, come here and we'll mark the task off on the site and generate a new one. Our new task is to complete the Daughter of Chaos quest. I'm going to need to do 4 levels of archaeology first, because this says it needs 40. I have the div level already, and those are the only requirements, but it does give a hefty chunk of divination XP and archaeology XP, so that's quite nice. So I'm gonna go do a small bit of archaeology, and then we'll quest. As soon as I get up here to Adressia, this should be the end of the Daughter of Chaos quest. It wasn't too bad. Getting the archaeology levels also wasn't too bad. I just tried to work on getting some of the mystery pages that I needed. That's the end of the quest. We got the 2 lamps and the puzzle box tier 2. What does the tier 2 puzzle box do? That one adds damage reduction and an increase to monsters in the wilderness. So not super useful, but it's alright. But here's our 30k archaeology and divination XP. We got 5 arc levels all the way up to level 45 and 4 div levels all the way up to level 48. And that also gives us access to the Everlight. I'm sure we'll be going there eventually. But that is the quest complete, the task complete, so let's get a new one. We officially hit 5% of the easy tier, and we're back to another quest. I'm gonna have to do some magic training, I believe, but I have to do the family crest quest. And also this gives us an unlock. Let's see what it is. The unlock is we can mine ore using stone spirits if it would benefit our activities. But to do the family crest quest, I need like 56 magic or something, don't I? 59 magic to cast the blast spells, and I also need to get 40 smithing and 40 crafting, which I am a few levels off. So I'm going to go check my bank for gems first, and I'm going to cut any that I have. Otherwise I'm going to mine those, and I'll have to smith some stuff too. And then I don't think I have like a great way to boost magic, so I'm gonna have to train somewhere. And I'll probably do a champion scroll monster. I'll just have to pick one, and I'll be back in a while because it's probably going to take a bit to train all these skills. All of the training for the Family Crest quest has been completed. I've got the 40 smithing, 40 crafting, and 59 magic that I did not have previously, and currently I am working on grabbing all of the items that I need for the quest. If you look at the quick guide, you might be a little bit scared seeing some of the stuff here, but for example, the swordfish, we can actually buy a cooked swordfish from the Shrimp and Parrot in Brimhaven. so you don't need to worry about that level. The bass, however, needs 43 cooking to fish, and I don't, or to cook. And I do have some raw bass, but I don't have a cooked one. I can't get into the Warriors Guild yet, which has some, but Anku drop them pretty frequently, so I might go kill some of those rather than boosting, because I don't have the banner to boost easily. So yes, to get all of the items needed, I've got the swordfish now. The last thing I need is a cooked shrimp, which is easy, obviously level 1, and a cooked bass. I'm gonna go kill Anku for that. They drop the cooked variety. But after that, I will have all of the items for the quest. To train up my magic to level 59, I killed hill giants. That's why I've got long bones in my inventory and the key. Unfortunately, I did not receive a champion scroll, but I did get about 4 or 5 long bones, I think. But we'll have to go back in the future for the scroll. Before I do the quest, I am planning on doing some quick upkeep on the account. Mainly, I am going to try to get all of the things that are like time gated prepped for the easy tier. So for example, I'm going to need to have a willow tree planted so I can get willow branches. I need to plant a bittercap mushroom in the cannabis patch. I need a rosemary honeycomb for a dense honeycomb for turtle combat. I need an adult or elder brown rabbit. So I'm just going to go through that checklist. On the Taskman Discord, in the tips and FAQ section, there's a pinned task or pinned post which has all of the tiers broken down by the required like time gated things. So I do plan on getting that set up before I do the quest, but I am going to gather all the items I need, do that list, and then I'll be back. Killed. It only took maybe about 10 or so for me to get the bass. So I've got everything in my inventory in terms of the cooked fish that are needed for the quest, the anti-poison, the rubies, and then the runes for the fight, as well as a little bit of food. So I'm making my way over to Dominthius to start the quest. I also did go through that quick little checklist. I've got the rabbit growing. I've got the rosemary honeycomb being prepared. I bought the fine cloth and bark that I could from the store. However, I'm going to need to purchase more. And then I planted a couple willow trees that I will slowly harvest branches from when I can. The bittercap mushrooms were planted in the cannabis patch, and then I already have the super compost that will be needed for my arm's big adventure, and then chronotes I'll worry about later when I actually have an arc task. But it's time for us to talk to Dominthius, who is outside of his house for some reason, and get this quest going. Chronozone has been successfully defeated. We have the entire family crest in our inventory. The only thing left to do is to return to Dominthius and turn it in, and that will be the end of the quest. The rewards of the various gauntlets, the smelting gauntlets and the cooking gauntlets, are very useful. The chaos gauntlets not so much, but they are going to be very useful to have. And that's actually the entirety of the rewards. No XP or anything. We do get one singular quest point, which we're at 145 now, so pretty close to another quest die, but not yet. But we have the family gauntlets. We can go have them turned into something when we need them. I'm just going to hold on to them for now. But that is our task actually completed. It took a while to finally get all those levels. I had to train, I think it was almost 200,000 XP worth of magic. But our next task that we just rolled is to do another quest. We need to do My Arm's Big Adventure. As I mentioned, I already have the super compost needed for it, but I don't know if we have other quests to do first. Yes, I need to do Edgar's Ruse, which needs Druidic Ritual and Troll Stronghold, but I believe, yeah, they're pretty low recs, so It appears I have the levels for all of these quests. It's just a little bit of questing time, so let's get to it. Now, that is the end of the Druidic Ritual quest. It only took a couple minutes. It's very quick, as I'm sure all of us know. We got some Guam and some Eye of Newt and a very small amount of Herblore XP. It was basically useless. The only reason we need to do it is so that we can do Edgar's Ruse now, which I believe is going to be our next quest. I will need to double check and stock up on everything that I need, but time to continue questing. On the bright side, oh, actually, Troll Stronghold is first, and then Edgar's Ruse. Troll Stronghold has some fighting, so I am going to double check to make sure I don't need to prepare anything special for it. But otherwise, I will begin to quest. But as I was saying, this will get us over the 150 quest points we need for the next quest die, so we'll get a nice cash injection, which is pretty good. We should be coming up on the end of the Troll Stronghold quest as soon as I come up here and talk to Dunolf, sorry. Oh no, I do have to actually talk to Dunstan over here and tell him that we rescued Godric, and that will be the end of the quest. And there we go, we got our quest point. The big thing, however, is we're also getting 20,000 XP that I'm going to put in Herblore. Got us up to level 50, almost level 51. So Herblore gains are always great. And now we have one more quest to do, which is Edgar's Ruse. And I'm making my way over to Sandview. The quest guide, I swear it used to tell you how many Goutweed to grab for future quests, but I didn't see it. So I grabbed 3, because I know you need one for another quest in the future. But that's the end of Edgar's Ruse. So now we have one more quest for the actual task, which is to do the actual My Arms Big Adventure quest. But we should have everything done and ready for it. So I just need to grab all of the items I need and we can get it done. We have fought the giant rock, and this should be the end of My Arms Big Adventure. As soon as we finish this dialogue with My Arm, that is the end of the quest with 10k Herblore XP, 5k farming, and we have access to this herb patch now, which is nice. We got both a farming level and an Herblore level, bringing us to 54 and 52 respectively. And that is actually the end of our task. This task was to unlock the Trollheim herb patch, which is right here next to us, so I can check this off. And we can get a new task. Our new task is to do yet another quest. I need to get one single fire making level from 39 to 40, and I need to get 50 wood cutting. I'm 41, so I need to do 9 more levels. And then it says you also have to do Fremnik Trials. So have I done that quest yet or not? I have not, so I need to do Fremnik Trials, which also means fletching levels, because I need to get up to level 25 fletching. So that is our agenda: 25 fletching, Fremnik Trials, fire making, wood cutting to 40 and 50, and then do Olaf's quest. First, though, I am going to quick teleport us to Varrock, and we are going to do a check-in with May. And we're going to grab our quest die and our money. So here we are. Let's talk to May. Claim rewards. We have 1 quest die. Let's roll it. I think it's 500k. Yep, 500k, and we got an ancient robe top. So a nice fortunate component for later. But yes, I need to do some leveling and do some quests. All trials, so as soon as we talk to Brunt here, this should be the end of the Fremnik Trials. It is indeed. We've got a bunch of lamps in our inventory. And our name, I don't know if you caught that there, our Fremnik name is Doklor. Not sure how to pronounce that, but sure. Time to redeem all of these lamps. See if we get any levels. We got 1 thieving level, 1 agility level, 2 fletching levels, and a woodcutting level. Now I still need to get levels for Olaf's quest because that is what our actual task is. In order to do that, I need 50 woodcutting and 40 fire making, I believe. Indeed, those are the only 2 things I have left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the woodcutting first because it's going to take longer because I'm almost near the... I'm basically right there for the fire making. And if I can, I will do the evil bloodwood tree. But actually, I don't think there's a point in saving for it because I think you get fire making during the last step of the tree. In which case, there's no point really because as soon as I hit 40 fire making, I would have to stop. But for you guys in the future, if you do need fire making XP for something, you can do the final stage of the evil bloodwood tree and get yourself the good reward sacks from wilderness events. And basically, if you have the option to do that, you want to. But that's only if you need fire making XP for your current task. But yeah, I need to train a bit, get 50 woodcutting, 40 fire making, and then do Olaf's quest. I just got 50 woodcutting. The fire making level is 111 XP away, so actually I'll just come out here and burn a couple of these logs quick. And there we go, that's the 40 fire making we need, and those are both the levels that we need for Olaf's quest. So I'm gonna gear up and go get it done. Build Ulfric and open the chest, and that's the end of Olaf's quest. We don't have to return and say anything, and there's no sequel or anything, even though it was hinted at about, what, 18 years ago now? But that's the end of the quest. We get a couple defense levels, well, 1 and almost a second, up to 52. And we can come over to the task site now, and we can mark this task off. That puts us just over 6% of the easy tier, and we can get a new task, which is to do some Misthalin and Asgarnia Unique Slayer. Our options are Defenders, which we don't have the levels for, or kill the Jogers or Mogers at Mudskipper Point. And we were forced to do the mini quest to unlock them. So I'm going to head to a Slayer Master quick, buy some fishing explosives, and then we're going to kill some Mogers. It took a total of 8 kills for Mogers, but we got the Mudskipper hat, one of the 3 options from Mogers. And I didn't even switch my screen back to show you, but it's in my inventory right here. And here it is in the chat log, new collection log entry. Let me switch back over to the task site and we can mark this off. And I said it was 8 kills because I didn't pick up any of the explosives that they dropped, so I could keep track. And that's this task completed. And our new one is to do some Shattered Worlds and get anything we want. We can choose from the drop down. So I'm probably going to pick one of the masks that have head drops that we're going to need to get. So for example, Kurasks or Basilisks, Cockatrice, etc. All of those are good options. This should be the last world that I need to do in Shattered Worlds. Opening this chest should give me well over the 3.5 million total that I need to purchase the mask that I'm going to. Overall, we did, I think that was world 30. Let me double check. We did 31 through 35, so we're 36 through 40 is next. Just a little tip for Taskman, this feed me button, really good. It gives you food worth 1500, fills your entire inventory. The equip me isn't as necessary in my opinion. You likely have equipment that's better already. So obviously check and make sure just to be sure when you get a Shattered Worlds task, but likely you've already got it. I did also end up getting 1 attack and 1 strength level, bringing us up to 63 of both. We're inching closer and closer to that 65 of both that I need for the defender grind, but I have a total of 4.8 million anima. We are going to buy the Mask of Reflection, which is the Basilisk one. This basically, I think it halves the drop rate of Basilisk heads, so it's really nice to have. The Mask of Stone here is the Cockatrice one, so that's also another good choice for this tier, because in the easy tier you are going to need to get another Cockatrice head, and you will be going for a Basilisk head as well. So those two are some of the important ones. Another one that you can get for later is the Kurask mask. In terms of other things, the worm masks aren't bad for desert and jungle strike worms. Not as necessary anymore since you can kill them off task, but they're nice to be able to force a task. And then I think the automaton one is one that's recommended by Taskman, because you will be able need to kill these guys later for specific drops, so it's not bad to have. And then also Gloom for, I believe this is the Dark Beast one. You do need to kill Dark Beasts for a Dark Bow eventually, and they are like an on task only thing, so it's nice to be able to force a task when you need one. Dagannoth it could be useful, especially for a Taskman for Slayer XP. There is a method for us in which after we get Dagannoth King tasks, we kill, because most of us, when we get them, they're pretty early on, so we kill Rex only. So we'll get a Warrior Ring, a Berserker Ring, and a Dragon Hatchet, and then he can't drop any more drops for us. So technically, on a Dagannoth Slayer task, you are then, after that point, after you have all of one King's unique drops, you're allowed to kill that king repeatedly for a Slayer task if you wanted. It's not necessarily the best. It can go pretty slow, especially since you're just sitting there safe spotting him generally, but it's not a bad strategy at all, so it's something to keep in mind. But that mask for the Dagannoth was, what, 40 million anima it was, so it's a bit expensive and probably not worth it, but if you feel like it, you can go for it. However, I got my mask. We're going to go over to the task site, and the Mask of Reflection is the one that I got, which is the Basilisk one, and we're going to complete this task. And we're going to grab a new task real quick. This new one is back to some Slayer. This one's the Fremnik Province. So, Brine Saber at 47 Slayer. I would have to get 1 Slayer level, not bad. Basilisk head is on the list, so I can go for Basilisk since I just got the mask, which is pretty good. And they also dropped the Basilisk boots, and I think one of these light mystic pieces, so I think I'm actually going to go kill Basilisks since I actually did just grab this, and I shouldn't, as far as I'm aware now, I shouldn't need a mirror shield. I can just rock in wearing the mask, and it provides the protection effects. So that's another reason why they're really nice for this and Cockatrice. It greatly increases your DPS because you can dual wield or two-hand something instead of needing to wield the shield and not have access to all your abilities. But yeah, I'm going to make my way to the Fremnik Slayer Cave, and we are going to kill something, most likely basilisks, but I'll let you know. Okay, well, getting this mask paid off. We already just got a basilisk head, and if we hover over the mask, we have a total of 24 kills. So 24 out of 1,000 is also known as incredibly lucky. This task took basically no time at all. So let's head over to our task site, scroll down, click the basilisk head, and I said, what, 24? Yes, 24 kills. Don't think I've ever been luckier for one of the heads on a Taskman account. That was great. Oh, but we're continuing right back into it with some more basilisk kills, most likely, as our next task is the exact same thing with one less item, but we can still get the hat or the boots from basilisks. So I'm gonna stay here and kill some more. And if we get a second head, that's also just a positive. Okay, as you can see on the ground and in my inventory, somehow I got 3 basilisk boots. I killed 2 at once, but I don't know how I got 3 of the boot pairs. I'm at 121 kills, so still lucky, but yeah, 3 pairs of basilisk boots. I don't know if the mask can make it drop twice or what happened there. Maybe I killed 3 at once and got 3 drops, but that would be crazy. But that's the end of this task. I can mark off the basilisk boots. And how many KC? 121 total. And that's the end of that task, and we can get a new one. And this new one is to do some rune spam. I need to get 2,500 points for the Wicked Cape, and unfortunately I can't get into the fishing guild yet for traveling merchants, so gotta do it the old-fashioned way. So it's gonna be a bit of a grind to get all these points. So I've spent pretty much the entirety of the day here in RuneSpan. Thankfully, as a byproduct, we did barely reach 50 rune crafting, which gives us access to the rune crafting guild, which you can see here. And that also gives us access to Viswax, which the main use for me is going to be finally having quick charges for the home teleport, so we don't have to deal with that long animation anymore. So that'll be really nice. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to spend some of my money on rune runs to be able to get a decent stock of Viswax, but gotta do what you gotta do. But we have the 2,500 points, so I just need to teleport to the top of the wizard tower, come over here to Wizard Phoenix, talk to him, and purchase the Wicked Cape. Buy 1 for 2,500 points. Yep. And there we are. That is our reward. You don't want to destroy it because you would have to purchase another one, so you're going to keep this in the bank. But that is the task. And before we roll this next task, I want to talk about a couple of the possible tasks that we could get that I would really like right now. Those mainly are the necromancy gear upgrade tasks. In order to make the other PVM tasks that I'm going to get in the future, especially once we start getting Giant Mole, Chaos Elemental, and then eventually later after the Slayer tasks into the God Wars Dungeon tasks, because those do exist in easy tier, I'm almost certainly going to want to use necromancy for them. And so getting talents like the Ghost or getting the better gear upgrades would be quite good. But let's roll and see what we actually get. Oh, this one's interesting. It's our first time actually getting reputation in Menaphos. So technically, this does lock a couple things off for us, because previously I wasn't gaining any reputation. I hadn't set it to any of the areas yet. So technically, I could have done things like scarabs for Slayer XP if I needed Slayer XP, or other places that wouldn't get me gems. So like, I'm pretty sure now after getting the Wakenite, I had everything from the Gullible Tourist that I could have gotten for the journal. So for thieving XP, I technically could have pickpocketed it because I wouldn't be getting reputation. But now that I have to set my reputation to something, I am not allowed to skill here of my own free will anymore. It's only when tasks require it. You are not allowed to come here, as this says, skilling in Menaphos is off limits when your active task does not require you to go there, and you have to avoid uniques and reputation. So it does lock some stuff off, but it does also unlock some stuff like the deposit boxes and stuff like that. Eventually the fishing here will be nice for some food, but there are tasks related to that, so I can't do that now. But basically, as a taskman, your best friend is to do scarabs and obelisks. Those are fair game. You're good to go. You can do them for this task. So that's generally the recommended thing, is to join the Soul Lobby Friends chat, which I will show you because I'm going to join it quick myself. I tend to find that I need to scout obelisks myself a lot. So if you do, be nice, throw them in the chat, help other people that are doing the same thing. You're going to want to stock up on some food, especially if you're a hardcore. If you're not, you can just die and come back. That's a valid strategy. But soul lobbies and scarabs both take they drain your HP, so you want to be careful as a hardcore. Don't AFK too hard. Don't let anything distract you. If you're doing it, it is possible to die, so just be careful. But getting to tier 3 shouldn't take long at all. It'll only be a few obelisks, so I'm going to go stock up on a little bit of gnome food, and then I'm going to get to it. Quick tips for soul obelisk. Keybind the food that you are eating, or just the eat food ability. That way you can just press a key and eat food when you need to, and you will not interrupt yourself actually siphoning from the soul obelisk. If you right click check progress, this is how much you can do per day total. It is not specifically for one individual obelisk. The obelisks are on a timer rather than being something that you completely deplete. In terms of the FC, if you look in my chat box, you see this 87IF. This is the way to call out an obelisk. The world is the number at the beginning. The district you are in is the next letter. So I for Imperial, P for Port, M for Merchant, and W for Worker. And then F means fresh, meaning they just saw it spawn or they saw it pop up in the chat. UA means unknown, so it's unknown age. You don't know when it is. You just happen to hop to this world and see it, maybe. And then D means dead, meaning that it just ended. That's to let everybody know that it's done with. The other calls, the cats are pretty self-explanatory. Most people will say cat or the cat's name on the world, same district, and then give a little bit of info. And then the other thing is scarabs. Generally, they spawn everywhere, so they don't have a district called, but it will just be the letter S. So it will be like 87S, and that would be scarabs on world 87. It's pretty self-explanatory. But those are just some things to keep in mind if you end up using the Soul Lobby Friends chat. It's very useful, and I would recommend using it and helping out others, but obviously you don't have to. I just finished up getting tier 3 in the Ports District, which was my task. I wanted to give you guys another quick tip that some of you may not know about Menaphos, is that you don't have to actually walk around the whole city to get to the different districts. You can use the shifting tombs. Of course, some of you might think, oh yeah, you have to go in and then walk through to each one of these doors that go to a different district. That is technically an option, but you can also just, on the outside entrance to the shifting tombs, if you right click, it gives you a little quick travel option to the other 3 districts that you are not currently in. So for example, I can go from here in the worker district all the way to the ports district in a matter of a second, basically. So if you're scouting for obelisks or anything like that, it's really useful to do, because you can just come here, look in ports district, imperial district, where it spawns right there, merchant district, it spawns right here, and then worker district, where this one currently is over here, is where the soul lobby will spawn. So that's just a quick tip for any that may not know, and hopefully it's useful to somebody. But that is the actual end of our task, so we can head over to the Taskman site and we can mark this task off. As mentioned, this has unlocked reputation as a whole for me, so I'm not allowed to do other things in Menaphos. The only things that I will be able to do here are specific tasks that are like get one of the gems or insects, or do more reputation, etc. So otherwise, Menaphos is largely basically off limits, besides the like daily cats you can still come and grab. But that's about it. But we're going to complete this task, and we're going to get a new one. We're almost at 8% of easy. And this new one, just as we said, is some more Menaphos. This one, however, is to enter Shifting Tombs. And we need to get a cat or a gem in there, which is Corundum or Bestapet. Corundum takes a while mining the stuff. Bestapet's pretty quick from breaking the urns. But in order to get into Shifting Tombs, we need to have Dungeoneering, Agility, Thieving, and Construction all at level 50. The only one that we currently have is Thieving. So I need to get 9 Agility levels, 4 Construction levels, and 12 Dungeoneering levels. The only special thing that I'm going to remember to mention right now is for my construction, I'm going to go build as many hidey holes for clues as I can, because I have a bunch of clue emote steps in my bank currently, and I want to be able to use hidey holes. And if you need construction XP, that's one of the times that you are allowed to build them. So if you need construction XP for a task, hidey holes are generally a good option for you. After I build the hidey holes, I'll probably do god statues, but that's later. The Dungeoneering should go quick. The only thing that's really going to take long is probably the agility, and I think I'm just stuck with whatever course I can do, and I'm not entirely sure what my best option is. It might be the Barbarian Outpost course now. I think so. I could theoretically do Agility Arena as well, but I think my agility level's still too low to be able to do it effectively, so I probably will avoid that. But yeah, I'm going to go train up these skills, as mentioned, and then I'll come back to you once I can actually get into Shifting Tombs and show you what that's about. We are finally achieving 50 agility. That grind took quite a while. Unfortunately, I had to skip I think 3 or 4 talent agents, because you're not allowed to do them unless you need the nimble pieces for a specific task, so I had to skip those. And my best course until I got 48 to use Apatol here for these last 2 levels was actually using the Barbarian Outpost course, which is like 10k XP an hour or something, so it was pretty slow. Not great. But we finally have all of the levels to enter Shifting Tombs. We've got the 50 agility. We already had the thieving. The Dungeoneering went by pretty quick. I just did small floors basically up until I could do whatever the higher level ones were, furnished or abandoned for me. And then I did a couple larges. Yeah, I did a couple large furnished floors, about 3, and that got me basically the rest of the way from, I think I was pretty low. I was like 38 Dungeoneering or something. And then the last skill, what was it? It was 50 Dungeoneering. Oh, construction. That's right. I made every single easy and medium hidey hole. I filled all of the easies except for the 2 that required Ruby Amulet or Amulet of Strength. And then I didn't really bother touching the medium ones because I wasn't able to make a lot of the items because I'm not on a clue task right now and I didn't have them ready and prepared. So that's how I did all of those, but we can actually go and work on our task, which is to head to Menaphos into Shifting Tombs, and we need to find either Bestapet the cat, or we need to find the Corundum gem when mining ores. So to get into Shifting Tombs, you just enter one of the tombs in any of the districts. Now, us currently as taskmen are not allowed to turn any of the statues on. Normally you light specific things and you will get that turns specific XP on for those specific things, but we are not allowed to do that. We have to have them turned off. You also need to talk to Ozan first to get a little bit of info about tombs before you can go in, but no questions, and I should be able to enter now. Solo is the better way to do it, in my opinion. And basically we are going to run around and we are going to smash as many of these urns and vases as we can, and if we run into any of the large clusters of rocks, we are going to use the bonus that we get from comboing vases to break them to try and find corundum, but unfortunately we have to skip opening any chests or sarcophagi that we come across right now because they are not included in the scope of our task. So all we can do is smash urns and break the crystalline corruption like this. The corundum is annoying to get. It's a 1 in 750 drop, and it takes forever to break large amounts of corundum, or the corruption. The cat is actually pretty common, I have found in experience, from the vases and urns and stuff that you break. We haven't seen one yet, but it really shouldn't be more than like a run or two until you find the cat, in my experience, as I said. But I will come back to you once we get that. We're also not allowed to like complete the tombs because that would work towards the aura pieces, and that is another task in the future. So currently all we do is run around, break corruption and break urns until we get a cat or the gem, and that is our task. But I'll come back to you guys once we get one of the two. Just basically a second later, running through this little part. We found Best to Pet after smashing some urns, so make sure you pet it and get a copy of its paw print for the journal. You can talk to it if you have a cat speak amulet. I'm not wearing one right now, so I obviously don't understand it. But that is the end of our task, so I can head over to our task site. We can mark off Best to Pet, complete the task, and move on to a new one. Luckily, in the future, we don't have to worry about getting those stats again. We can just enter the tombs and begin immediately working on our task. But this next one is actually a pretty decent one. It's going to get us some decent melee armor because the rock shell set is power armor, so definitely better than the rune that I've been using. But the task is to obtain a full set of rock shell armor. You get them by killing giant rock crabs in Waterbirth Dungeon to get all the pieces. So I am going to go gear up, and we are going to work on getting some rock crab armor. It's really good. Like I said, power armor. It can be upgraded using some stuff from Wilderness Slayer and stuff, which we should get into in this tier. Not necessarily Slayer, but killing monsters in the wilderness. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But yes, time to gear up and go kill some rock crabs. I also shouldn't need to pay the fee anymore to get to Waterbirth Island, I don't think, because I did Fremnik Trials. So I don't remember how much it was, 5k, 10k, 1k, something like that, but there was a fee and that should be gone now. But I will gear up and meet you guys there. I don't think I have any pieces currently. I do not, so we have to get everything, but we'll get to work. So for this trip, I came here with melee because I wanted to see how well it would do, and I'm getting very close to those 65 stats, but I don't think I'm going to stick with it. As you can see, they have 17,500 health basically, and I'm at a 37% hit chance. It's not bad, it's not awful, but I think the water spells would do a lot better using their weakness. I go down to tier 50 weapons, obviously, because I don't have 60 magic. I'm very close, but I also don't have a tier 60 weapon that I could easily access because god staffs are locked behind a task. But as you can see, I'm not doing terrible, but the drop rate for this stuff for the most part is like 1 in 64. Like both the gloves and boots are 1 in 64, and then the everything is 1 in 64. So I need to kill, technically, to go like on rate, I need to kill 64 of them. Depends on how lucky we get, obviously, but kills take a bit. So I'm gonna stay here for this inventory of food for sure and see what we get and how far we get. And I might stay until I get those 65s in both attack and strength. I'm getting really close to level 64 attack. But after that, I definitely think I should mage. But we'll see. We just got our first piece that we need to make the armor, the rock shell chunk. We're about, I don't know, 6-7 kills in so far. The something that I did forget to mention is that they do also require some Dagannoth hide to make, so we're going to have to get those as well. Also, I don't know why none of these are activating and attacking me currently. There we go. But we got our first piece, and we are going to need, I think it's roughly 6 Dagannoth hides. I don't know if I currently have any in my bank. I'll have to check after I get stuff. Otherwise, we're basically gonna have to kill some Dagannoth in here to get them. They're like a 1 in 10 drop rate, so it won't take that long, but it's just something to keep in mind. With the rock shell shard, so in terms of pieces, we only need the... what is it called? We've got the chunk and the shard, so we're missing the splinter, and then the gloves and boots actually just drop straight up as themselves. They do not need to be created, so we still need those two, obviously, but I do think I'm going to switch to mage after this inventory. These kills are quite slow, and I don't think staying here for the XP is necessarily worth it for melee. I'm gonna get it in the future anyway, so I might as well just switch to the better combat style, probably, is my thought process. Okay, my OBS was acting a bit weird, but I think I just had to do a good old shut it off and turn it on again. It seems to be running fine. It's not giving me any messages. As you can see, I've come back with mage. Currently I am using water blast, and I am at a 48% hit chance with it, so about 10% higher than the melee was. So honestly, it might not really be that much of a difference. If I had a tier 60 weapon for when I hit 60 mage, it would probably make a big difference, but as far as I'm aware, I do not have easy access to any of those. Everything, yeah, I can't make Grapholic. I obviously can't get the Dragon Battle Staff. This is specifically from Obsidian stuff, so I can't get that. And then the God Staffs are specific tasks. So yeah, I don't have an easy answer for that until I get the God Staff task. So we're just gonna have to put up with the Mystic Wand and Orb until we get that. But I'm gonna do this inventory with magic, and I might swap back to melee after this one to continue working towards those 65 stats, because those are going to be important pretty soon. We've already had a couple tasks where we could have started the defender grind, but I've got 2 of the pieces. We still need, so that's 3 more. We need the gloves, the boots, and the splinter to make the other piece. But I'm just gonna keep killing some rock crabs. And here we are, we got our rock shell boots, so 2 more pieces to go, the splinter and the gloves. I'm glad that we haven't gotten any duplicates yet. It's fairly likely to happen, but so far so good. So let's keep on killing. Nice clip here. As soon as we got the level 60 magic level, we also got the rock shell gloves on that same kill. So we only have 1 thing left that we need, which is the rock shell splinter from the crabs. Then we'll have to go collect some hides from the melee Dagannoth, but that won't be a big deal most likely. And after that, we can go make our rock shell set for the task. But yeah. I have not been keeping track of how many kills I have, but I think we're pretty lucky so far in terms of what's dropped. I have not been picking up every single charm drop or anything, but about 2 inventories of food so far I've gone through. But yeah. Up getting dupes. As you can see in my inventory, I got 2 more rock shell shards, but that kill right there, we just got the splinter. So we have all of the rock shell pieces. Now I just need to collect the 5, I don't recall, 5 or 6 Dagannoth hides that I need. They're like a 1 in 13 from these guys for a single one, so And these have a lot less HP than the rock crabs do. Unfortunately, I didn't bring earth runes with me, which is their weakness, but I'm still killing them really, really fast. So I imagine with this inventory of food, we'll probably manage to get them, but we'll see. But once I have all of those, I will make my way over to the store in Relica and make the armor. Have everything in my inventory that I'm going to need to make the rock shell armor. As you can see, we did get a couple other drops, like a couple herb seeds here, an okay amount of charms, and then I grabbed a couple of talismans that had dropped. I didn't remember which ones I already had and didn't have, so I just grabbed them anyway. I'm going to deposit the 2 extra shards that I have so I don't accidentally make dupes of those, because I only have enough hide to make the actual set. But we're going to teleport on over to Relica, and we're going to make our way over to Skullgrimmon, and we're going to create the rock shell set, which will be the end of our task as well. As I said before, it's actually a really good armor set. It's going to be basically our best melee set until, well, dragon pieces are actually power armor now. So until we get some power, some dragon pieces, or until we get Bandos, basically. So we made the helm. Let's make some sturdy body armor. So that's 10k. It was 5k for the helm. And then the legs is 75, so that was like 22.5k, I think, to make that. So we did need some money, but let's equip this. It looks interesting, but this is our new melee armor that we have. That does also mean, however, that we can now come over. Like I said, I didn't keep track of the KC, and I'm pretty sure my rune metrics is still, it isn't, I don't have pro right now, and I don't feel like getting it, so we're just going to complete this task, and we're going to get a new one. We're almost 8.5% through easy. This next one, we need 400 sparkling energy and 160 memory strands. Let me check my currency pouch. So I do not have the memory strands, so we're going to have to do some divination no matter what. But let me see if I have the energy available already or not. I have 158 of it, so I do not. So I'm gonna go do some divination until I've got the energy required and the memory strands required to hand in this engram to the Memorial of Guthix. It shouldn't take too long, I don't imagine, but it's gonna be a little bit of AFK. I have received well over the amount of sparkling energy that I need, but the memory strands took a while. I have 180 now. I only need 160 for this, but they come in chunks of like 20 to 30. It's like a random amount. I believe this is the engram that I need, though, the one by the World Gate. The World Gate engram, yes, that is the one that it says. So let's teleport over to Memorial to Guthix. We will check this. We will charge it. We will turn it in for a nice chunk of Div XP. I don't know how much it's actually going to give, but it'll almost certainly give us level 50, I'd imagine. Yeah, 17k, so level 50, almost 51. So that's quite nice. I don't know, what do we have available? Planting seeds can give memory shards. Checking hunter traps can give memory shards. Give springs increased, and increased XP in Daemonheim. I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to grab the hunting, and I'm actually just going to grab the hunting one, and I'm going to confirm that, because we will eventually get hunter tasks, and getting those will be nice. But that is the task, actually. Yeah, we just had to turn that in, so I can go over to the task site and we can complete this and get a new one. Our new task won't take very long at all. We just need some opal, jade, and topaz for trading sticks, and we're going to purchase the last villager outfit. Let me check first. I have 820 trading sticks already. I only need 1,000. Let me check if I have any opal. I've got a small amount of opal, red topaz, and maybe some jade. Let's see. No jade. So I've got 3 opal and 5 uncut red topaz. So let me see how many of those topaz I can cut. Well, we crushed 3 of them. So I'm going to teleport and I'm going to see if this is enough to get me up to 1k. I doubt it is. So it's probably just a waste of a minute and running there. But maybe. If I need a little more, I'll go to the gem rock, obviously, mine a couple gems and come back. I had was barely enough. It put me at 1030. And I need to purchase the yellow outfit. Oh no. I accidentally just bought 10 villager sandals. I meant to click examine, but there isn't an examine option. So that is on me. I'm gonna have to go. Can I sell these back? Maybe it'll let me sell these back. And of course I'm getting attacked by this warrior too. I figured I would be high enough level, but I'm not. So I can sell them back, but it's for nowhere near the amount that I bought them for. So let's drop 1 pair on the ground so we can keep it. And then let's trade the rest of them back because it's useless. That got us back to 300, but I just wasted some trading sticks on accident. So I'm going to go mine and we'll get the rest. It won't take long. It's not that big of a problem, but it's a funny mistake that I just made. I've gotten a new inventory of gems to sell. Hopefully it should be enough to get all the trading sticks I need. It looks like we should be good. Yes, I already bought the sandals here, so I'm going to buy the top, the robe, the hat, and the armband. Just 1 of each, not 10 like before. And we have the yellow outfit now. Looking interesting once again, but now that I didn't accidentally purchase 10 of the incorrect thing, that task is complete. So let's head on over to the task site, select the villager outfit yellow. We shouldn't have to buy any more of these, so that is the end of those tasks. They're pretty easy, so I didn't really mind them in general, but let's get a new task. Back to Menaphos for some more reputation. It shouldn't take long. It's really just a couple soul lobbies, and the obelisks reset at daily reset, which is in 12 minutes. So even if I was near the end from before, it won't be an issue. So I'm going to go grab some food, and we're going to go back to doing some soul lobbies. Through a mixture of scarabs and soul obelisks, mostly soul obelisks, we have reached tier 3 in the worker district reputation. So I'm going to make sure to swap this over to a different faction while I'm here so I don't forget later. We have almost reached tier 4 total city rep, but both the worker and ports have been done, so we've unlocked their bank deposit boxes, which are nice. The next one that I would like, honestly, would be Imperial, but I can't control which task I'll get next. But we are going to head over to the task site, and we are going to mark this task off. There's nothing left for us to do, and we're going to get a new one. This new one is to do some more Asgardian Mistalin Slayer, which means just more Mogres. We're very close to getting into the Warriors Guild, but we're not quite there yet. So I'm going to go grab fishing explosives from the bank again, and we're going to kill some Mogres because we still need the claw token and the flippers. If we somehow manage to get like 50,000 XP to get the attack and strength levels that I need to get into the Warriors Guild, I'll switch over there probably, but I don't think it's gonna happen. That's incredibly unlikely. But that is our new task, is to go kill some mogres again. One mogre kill, and we got the claw token. I did spot that penguin over there, by the way, don't worry. But yes, quite literally a singular kill for this task to be done with, so incredibly quick. Let's head over to the task site, 1KC, mark off the crunchy claw token, complete this task. If you want to give me the next one, I wouldn't be mad about it, but no, we need to do Menaphos Thieving for the Unicorn Fly in Amber or the Fly Dragon in Amber. I need to double check what this one says stalls, but I need to look at the Hornless Unicorn Fly and see what it is, but it's time to do a little bit of thieving. I quickly double checked. The Hornless Unicorn Fly in Amber is actually Gullible Tourist still. So that is something that I can go do. I believe it's the last thing that we will get from the Gullible Tourist in terms of gems. So that is what I'm going to go do. The Tourist is nice because it gives the Menaphos boxes, which can be turned in for either reputation later or opened for cash, and the option for some things like Onyx Jewelry. I believe you can get Slayer VIP tickets and stuff too, so they're just nice to have. But that is where I'm going to go. I'm going to have to find a Gullible Tourist world, and then we're going to pickpocket. So it didn't take too long at all to get the Hornless Unicorn Fly in Amber. There it is in our inventory. I really wasn't here long at all. I've gotten this rep in the merchant district here. That was about it. And I got a single Menafite gift offering from the tourist. So that's it. But, oh, let's see if I can get over there quick for that corrupted egg. 76 to soften him. We'll see if I can. That would be a great passive that somebody just called out. But I'm going to doubt it personally. I think running to Alcarid and then using the carpet would be faster. I'm going to keep you here with this race for me in case somebody grabs it, or if I win the race. That's how the corrupted egg is it's a race to if somebody calls it, because only one person can get it. So this says north of Divination Rift in Sophenum is what the person called, and they haven't said anybody's grabbed it yet, so I'm making my way there, and I think this is the fastest way that I can get there. Magic carpet to Sophenum. Man, this scene takes forever. Come on, let's go. Let's run over here to the divination and see if the egg is still there or not. I think this is where the divination is, at least is south over here, but I could be completely wrong. Am I screwing myself over? Let me look at the map quick. Oh, it's actually in Sophenum. That's right, it's south in Sophenum. So if nobody's grabbed it still, then I still have a chance, but it very much could have been taken. I haven't done the quest in which I can go through the gate, I don't believe, from Menaphos to Sophenum. Oh, somebody beat me to it. So I might cut out this whole clip. But, nah, I'm gonna keep it so that I can just go right into the next task here. So it was the Hornless Unicorn Fly in Amber. We're gonna complete this task. That was the actual task we did. We're almost 10% of the way through easy. This next one is one that I haven't been looking forward to. I was hoping we would get this later. Is just to obtain any champion scroll. I don't have like a good AoE way. I don't have a cannon or anything. I've killed a decent amount of giants and goblins. I might try seeing if ghouls are still aggressive on me and if I can deal with them decently, or maybe skeletons. But those, we'll see, yeah. But that is our next thing. It's probably going to be a while before the next clip because I need to get a 1 in 5,000 drop. Hey, we already got the skeleton champion scroll. We got very lucky on this, but I came to skeletons because I figured that I could kill them faster than anything else, even without having the like a cannon or aggression potions. Like ghouls, for example, were aggressive, but they did too much damage for me to comfortably like AFK there. So I figured this was my best bet, and I could have done goblins as well, but I figured skeletons, they're more closely bunched up here than I think goblins tend to be, so I figured it was a better choice. But we got the champion scroll quite quickly. I think this is only about 294 kills is what my rune metric says. So pretty quick, a lot quicker than I thought it was going to go. It wouldn't have been that bad even if it did take the whole 5k. Like, I think I was there for 20 minutes maybe. Like I'm killing them quite quickly, but I'm glad we got it pretty quick. And I have killed my fair share of goblins for easy clues, as well as the hill giants for magic XP earlier. But that is the skeleton champion scroll, and I said 292, 293, 294 kills. So that is the end of that task, believe it or not, and we can get a new one. We're over 10%. We're back to the Fremnik province section, so we need the brine saber at 47, or everything else from Turoth's at 55, or a light mystic hat, which I believe is from wall beasts, which I don't particularly want to do, so I'm probably going to go do brine rats for the brine saber. I say it, but I didn't want to be wrong. Basilisks drop the mystic hat as well, so I think I'm going to toss on my mask and head back to basilisks. A second head would be great. I do need a second one for the future, but the hat, the mystic hat, is what we're going to be going for, and that'll actually finish up basilisks basically if we get that for this section. I also want to say, don't quote me on this, but I believe the way that this tier is set up is that in order for us to be able to roll God Wars Dungeon tasks, because there are God Wars Dungeon 1 tasks, is that I need to finish this, specifically the Fremnik Province Slayer section. Also, I think I might have just finished the champion scroll task early, now that I'm thinking of it. I think I need to actually fight the champion. Yes, obtain and defeat the challenger. So let me bank everything quick, grab the champion scroll, and I will head there and we will fight that skeleton. Okay, these champion fights aren't very bad generally. As you can see, I don't have much in terms of ranged gear. In this one, you specifically have to fight with ranged, but I'm not going to bother filling out the rest of this set. I'm just going to grab stuff. I'm using a U comp bow from Clues, for example, and it's just it's a whole thing. So I'm going to choose fight. I'm going to choose the skeleton. Yes. And then go down this trap door and through this gate, and we can fight the skeleton. It's only got 4,000 HP, so like I said, 6,400. I am using range, so I don't know why I just got yelled at. Some abilities being considered not ranged, I guess. But we're not doing bad. This fight's not really scary. I always forget that for these champion scroll tasks, you're supposed to fight the champion after you get the scroll. It always feels like it should just be the scroll, you know? But this, yeah. Also, for anybody else that has these tasks, you are not allowed to get the rewards after. There's XP rewards that you get from them. You're not allowed to get them because it's extra XP that doesn't go towards your tasks, so you have to skip them. But this champion is down. We got a range level off of it. And yeah, these lamps I can't use. The Constitution lamp I have to destroy, actually, but technically the new task I got is a Slayer task, and I'm allowed to train my Slayer level up until the highest level in the dropdown, which for this was 55. So I actually can use this Slayer lamp and get the 648 XP. But we have now killed the champion. I didn't accidentally skip over that part of the task, but now I am going to gear up and go kill some basilisks for the Mystic Hat and potentially a second head. But that's it. I'm not missing anything else, I don't think. So yes, the fight was easy. I used tier 40 stuff and bronze arrows, and I had a couple spined pieces, and I grabbed a couple blue dragon hide pieces from upstairs. But that's everything for the previous task. I'm sorry that I accidentally skipped over doing the champion immediately for the task. I was excited to check off the task because of the lucky champion scroll that we had. But it's time to go to basilisks. Forgot to mention that I get to test out my new rock shell armor here at the basilisks, and honestly, I don't know if I'm just crazy, but it feels like my kills are so much faster than they were before. They might be not at all, but it feels a lot faster. But we're here. We're starting at about 127 KC according to our mask, and the drop rate I think is 1 in 512 for the mystic hood that we need. And it's 1 in 1k for another head. The head, obviously, as I mentioned, won't complete the task, but it will be used for a future one. So that's something to keep in mind. Stopped yet. We just got the light mystic hat on the ground. I accidentally killed one extra because of auto retaliate, but 303 kills for the light mystic hat in the end of this task. So overall, our basilisk luck is incredibly lucky. 304 kills total for all drops. We will have to come back for an additional head in the future, but I'm not really worried about it. Let's head over to the task site though, and late mystic hat, I said 303 kills, and that's the end of this task for another Fremnik Province Slayer item. Okay, this one... Oh, yes, this one is fine. Okay, I was confused for a second because I was thinking that this is the one that requires the cows of different variety, which would be, I saw was listed in the medium tier, but it's not. I just need to get access to the source, which is just one of the mysteries. It's not the one. It just requires digging in the Ark, in the Zami Guild area. What am I saying? In the Infernal Dig site. So I don't think I have this mystery done. I will grab my Ark journal and check quick. What's our mystery progress in Zamarok? Oh, actually, I do have Eyes in Their Stars and the Cultist Embrace the Chaos done. So I think all this is going into the source and then doing all of these sliding puzzles, which can be a bit annoying, so it'll take a few minutes, but overall, it won't be that bad. Took us a few minutes, especially with the annoying teleports around here that sometimes don't work correctly, but we have all of the dice in our inventory, so it's time to roll them all. I realize I could have been rolling them as I go for the chance of failure to get less and less, but that's no fun. So now it's a 1 in 12, 1 in 20, now 1 in 100, and there's the achievement, die, die, die. And we can go over to the task site and complete this task. We're at almost 11% of the easy tier, And our new task, back to some Slayer. This one is Remnick Province again. And I don't have 55 for Turoths, but I do have the 47 for Brine Rats. So I'm going to go kill Brine Rats. I've done the quest, so I can go get the Brine Saber from Brine Rats. On the floor here, we can see we just got the Brine Saber. We are indeed a little bit lucky. I'll have to check exactly how much in 1 second, but I know it's before the 512. I think we were at a little over 400 kills, so not extremely lucky like earlier, but still decently lucky. We got an okay amount of raw food. I was expecting a little bit more, honestly. I don't know if I was unlucky on the food drops or if I just was misremembering how much it actually gives, but we did get some raw food. But let's head over to the task site. The total kill count, if I refresh my rune metrics quick, 414 Brine Rats. So let's put in 414. And that is the Brine Saber. The only thing we have left for Fremnik Slayer collection log in this tier is Turoths after this. Everything here drops from Turoths. So we'll have to do that eventually, but we can complete this task and we can get a new one, and that puts us over 11%. This new one is pretty nice. It'll take a bit because it takes a bit. Probably, I don't know if I have any willow logs at all. I don't. But it's to build the first tier of the Fort 4-3 Command Center. Do I need to do a quest for that? Let me check. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like it just needs new foundations, which I have already done. But I'm going to have to go grab the willow logs and the walls, and then we'll build the command center. And it won't take too long, but it'll take a bit. It got us 1 construction level, pretty close to level 52, but nothing too crazy. I realized on this account, we will, in this tier, I believe, get a few more of these fort buildings, like the chapel, the town hall, maybe even the kitchen. I don't remember how far we go, but I know we're going to have to build the rest eventually, and I believe this tier is going to have a decent amount. But that is the actual task completed. Let's come over here, mark it off, and get a new task. This next task is back to Menaphos for some more reputation, this time 3rd tier rep in the Imperial District. I think I can still get enough rep from the soul lobbies, so I'll get as much as I can, obviously, and we will see. But I do believe actually that I can do a game of familiarization right now first for a passive, so I'm going to look into doing that. I did a quick game of familiarization. It took a hot second because I don't have the spa built yet, so I don't have any way to get infinite run that won't run out, but it's still doable and worth doing familiarization even without it, so I can get the shaman outfit pieces. And this one right here, we got some willow branches, so I kind of just grew a couple willow trees for willow branches for no reason then, basically. You need those for quests. But we also got the shaman moccasin piece, so let's head over to the task site. I've got it already pulled up here, and here are the shaman moccasins. We can mark this off, and that is another passive complete. We still need 30 to be able to go to the medium tier, but the shaman outfit are some easy ones that we can do whenever familiarization is available. But back to our actual task, we're going to head to Menaphos and get some more reputation. So I was doing rep, and I've done all of my soul lobbies for the day, and scarabs have dropped down and aren't giving me much rep either, so I figure the best way is going to turn in some of the Menaphite gift offerings I have. I only have 7, and I believe I need to turn in 5 of them to get enough, because it's 350 per, so 5 will be a little over, you know, 1600 or so. But there we go. That got us Imperial District Tier 3. We still have the Merchant District, and if I get that as one of my next tasks, I'm really just gonna have to wait until Daily Reset to have a good, efficient way of doing it. But we can mark this off. We've gotten 3 of the 4. So... And next is medium Falador area tasks. Let me check on what those require. We need to do the Night Sword, the Garden of Tranquility, Recruitment Drive, Wanted, and get 49 fire making, but otherwise the things aren't too bad. I wonder why it's giving us the option to placeholder, well, to time gate it. But, yeah, some quests I need to do. So I am currently in the middle of Garden of Tranquility for the Falador medium tasks, but I also needed to do the Knight's Sword, so I figured while things were growing I could do that quick, get the smithing XP lamp, which is pretty nice. We got a few smithing levels, 3 up to level 43, and also in 1 minute a bloodwood tree is spawning, and I need to get level 49 fire making for one of the tasks. I don't remember which one specifically. This one, I need to light a bullseye lantern, which takes 49 fire making. So I can actually do stage 1 and stage 3 of the tree. I cannot do stage 2, the woodcutting phase, but that is okay. So I'm going to do that, and we're going to have a chance at getting some good loot from one of the good goodie bags, but we will see. Just finished up the last stage of the evil bloodwood tree, so we've got the 2 sacks of wild rewards, one from stage 1, which is farming XP, and one from stage 3 for fire making, and the 1 sack of very wild rewards. So let's open all 3 and see what we get. Bloodwood seeds are nice from the regular one. Some more bloodwood seeds and a bit of money with an elk and some energy, and then the sack of wild, some magic logs, and a lucky charm. So not that great, but I'll take it. Still waiting on things to grow for Garden of Tranquility. I'm doing the Enter the Abyss mini quest. It's needed for Wanted, which is one of the quests that I need to do, so we're getting this done with quick. We got a rune crafting level up to level 51 from it. And then maybe I will work on recruitment drive next. But yes, still working on quests to be able to do all the achievements. We just wrapped up recruitment drive, 3 1k XP lamps and access to Temple Knight armor. Which is what the quest is needed for the achievement. I don't think any of this are going to give us levels. Yeah, no levels. We do get a free Initiate Helm, which is fine. And while I was in there, I got the notification that my crops for Lyra finished growing, and that was the last thing that I needed for the Garden of Tranquility, so I'm gonna go wrap that up if I can figure out what happened, because it looks like I DC'd, but oh, yep. Should be the end of the Wanted quest. As soon as I get up here to Ceramic Vase, I can turn it in, get the XP, and then everything in the garden should have grown now for the queen, so I can go check and finish Garden of Tranquility as well. So after claiming both of these quest rewards, the only thing that will be left is to get the fire making level up to level 49. I believe I have enough logs for it. It's a shame that I'm going to have to use the oak logs that I got, because I got them specifically so I would be able to do the bonfire boost, which is a task later for War's Retreat. You need 1,000 oak logs for the first one. And I think I got up to like 13 or 1400 when I was doing the woodcutting grind earlier. But that is our next step. And so from the calc I looked at, I think I'm going to use 700 or so oak logs, like 700 or 800 to get the fire making level. It's something I need to do, obviously, so I can't really avoid it, but it is a bit of a shame. But I'm going to keep you guys with me since I'm almost here at the garden, and I believe everything should be grown by now. So let's go over here and talk to the queen and see if we did indeed finish everything. There it is indeed, so we just have this final cutscene after we go grab the king, and that will be the end of the quest. The Ring of Kairos on me, so I couldn't actually do the correct dialogue, so I had to run to the bank quickly to grab that to actually convince the king to come out and look at the garden. But we're going to show him everything. He's going to hate it. We're going to get the quest rewards. The rewards are nothing great. A couple random seeds, basically, a couple quest points, and then 5,000 farming XP. It's not the best, but it's needed for a good amount of other quests in the future, so there we go. These are all of the rewards. Didn't even get us a farming level, it doesn't look like. Nope. But that is the end of that quest. So now the only thing left for all of these tasks is the 49 fire making. So I'm going to go burn some logs and then come back once we can actually start doing these. I am going to look into a scarecrow quick, because that looks like the only thing here that would be partially time-based, and that's because for a scarecrow I think I need a watermelon, so I might need to plant some watermelon seeds. Just a couple more logs and we're going to hit that level 49 fire making, and we'll have everything that we need to do the Falador medium achievements. I did plant some watermelons. I don't actually know how long ago it's been. I had some breakfast and I did this grind, so hopefully they grew. And hopefully they didn't get diseased. I didn't protect them, but I did use super compost. But I'm gonna go grab stuff and see. It looks like the watermelons are still growing, but I will work on the rest of the achievements and hopefully they're done by the time that I need them. I have prepped my inventory with everything that I need besides the stuff for the scarecrow. I do have sweet corn seeds in my bank, I do believe, so I'm all good for that step once I have the watermelons ready. I did have to go make a very short pit stop at the dried zombies in order to get the mithril grapple for this step. That's what you see in my inventory, but that, yeah, I got it in 3 kills. I got pretty lucky. It's not super rare. It's like a 1 in, what is it? It's like a 3 in 120 or something, I think. Yeah, 3 in 128, so like a 1 in 40. But I got it. But we just did the first achievement, which is to make a basket here with willow branches. A quick run over here to this shortcut should be another achievement, which is to climb under the Falador wall. There we go. This next one is to grapple off the north wall, so I'll see you guys in a second once I'm there. I think it should matter which way we go, so I'm going to grapple and then jump down, and I can always go... Oh, let me equip the things and hopefully this crossbow works. But as I was saying, I don't think it matters which way we go, but if it does, I can just go the other way. So there we go. That's that achievement complete. Our next one is to kill a black knight. So where am I going to do that at? I don't know if it's faster. I'm going to go bank, grab a skull of remembrance, and teleport to the fortress. teleported, and this should be a quick kill. Oh, let me switch to my actually good weapon and not the crossbow with the grapple. There we go. And there we go. That's yet another one of the achievements done. Next one is to do the same thing, but with an ice giant in the ice dungeon. So let me teleport there and go kill an ice giant. The icy dungeon. They've got 8k HP, but I don't think tier 60 melee should really struggle. They are doing a decent amount of damage, but like I said, it's just one kill, we'll be fine. There we are. Let's teleport out of here quick and look at our next one. Light a bullseye lantern in the chemists. I already have some bullseye lanterns, so I don't need to worry about making one or getting one. I have lit bullseye lanterns that I got from the Lorehound for questing and entering some areas earlier on when I couldn't make like a good light source. It's a good way to get them. But all I have to do is run over here and light it in the chemist's house, I believe. So another easy task. And after this, we're gonna head to Falador and pickpocket a guard. So let's light this quick. There we go. Now let's head to Falador. Pickpocket one of these guards, hope we don't fail. There we go, and then I need to run over to Sir Tiffy and buy full initiate armor, wear it, and salute. How do I act? There we go. Bye, bye, bye. Wear all of these, find salute in my emotes. One major complaint I have, give us a way to sort this list alphabetically. It's not that hard to program. It shouldn't be at the very least, and if it is, that's an issue. But where is salute? There we go. But it's really annoying for doing clues and stuff. I know eventually you get the outfit, but that takes a while, but you have to sort through this list every time, and they're not in like a good order. But that's that task complete. We're still waiting on the watermelons. Smith blue right limbs on Thurgo's anvil, so I need to smelt that first, but I'll see you guys there. Here at Thurgo's, we're going to make blue right limbs. I don't know if blue right's been updated. It has, to do the actual smithing, so how long is this going to take? Oh, not very long at all. But once this task is complete, we have 2 more easy ones in Port Sarim quick. And then we just have to wait for the watermelons. I figured out why it's time gated, obviously. You need the branches from the willow for the basket, and then the watermelon for the scarecrow. This next one is to bring out a cat here. I believe you stand right here on this patch of sand and you just drop your cat down. There we go. That is another one completed. We can pick the cat back up. And then this last one is to travel to Musa Point for free using the Ring of Karos. So let's pay, charm, and there we are. So that is all of the achievements except for the watermelon one. I will go see how they're doing and check back in with you in a minute. Just waiting for the watermelons to grow, I figured I would do something that I was doing a little bit of last night, which was to scout for the corrupted egg in Menaphos. And I actually found it really quickly this time. Yesterday I went through every single world on the list. I hopped through it all and didn't find it in any of the spots. This time I hopped once and I found it right away, so paid off. Did I already have this on this account? Am I that stupid? Have I been wasting my time? Let me check my pet interface. Do I already? Alright, well, guess I wasted some time. The watermelon grew, has been harvested. That did complete an Ardoin area task for the future, but not currently, but it's fine to get that done. but as soon as I get up here to the farm, I can plant some sweet corn and put the scarecrow in the flower patch, and we'll be all good, and that'll be the last task for the Falador medium area tasks. I will then have to go back to the chemist, I believe, to get the reward. But I believe I have to rake this first and then put this here, and there we go. That is the last achievement, so time for me to go collect our shield and the XP lamp. And the shield and the lamp I'm going to throw on Herblore like always. 5k XP, that does get us one level up to level 53. I don't actually know what levels we need for the Herblore supply tasks in this tier. I should probably look at some point, but that is the end of this task, so I can head on over to the task site. We actually completed this, we did not time gate it. While I was waiting, I could have time gated it, but I was doing some cabbage face punch to get some points stocked up for the future. It just seems like something pretty simple to do. We're at 12% easy now, and we can get a new task. This new one is back to Fremnik Slayer, and I believe that means I need to, yes, I actually need to train 5 levels of Slayer to be able to kill Turoths, so we need to do some Slayer training. I'm gonna have to take a look at Slayer Masters and monsters and which ones I have available to me with my combat level and stuff like that to figure out the best place to go. On getting some Slayer levels up. I've got a Banshee task at the moment, which I am allowed to do. I already have the gloves, so that's the only unique, and Ghost Hunter body pieces in the rules are said to be considered as over 1 in 2k drop rates, so you don't have to worry about those when you're doing Slayer or killing monsters. But we did just get a Ghost Hunter body, and that is a task, I do believe. All of the Ghost Hunter pieces are tasks, so let me fire up the task site. Oh, and this is the last one in the easy tier that we would have to get. If I show you, there's 1 here and then 2 in the medium tier. So let's check off the Ghost Hunter body. I don't know how many KC, actually I do. I've done 71 kills for this in terms of the task, so let's mark you off. But yeah, that's 2 of the 4 Ghost Hunter pieces, so we're doing pretty well so far, honestly. I'm only 52 Slayer though. I've still got 3 levels to go, and I don't have a lot of great tasks available to me. So what I'm really hoping for is that I end up getting a Grotworm task, so I can do the mature Grotworms, and they give like 400 XP per kill, 400 Slayer XP that is, and I would really like that, but otherwise I'm just kind of doing what I get. So yeah, back to the Slayer grind for me, but that was a nice little interruption. We have just achieved our 55 Slayer level that we need in order to kill Turoths. So now we can get to our actual task. Nothing too interesting happened throughout the Slayer grind besides that Ghost Hunter piece I showed you, and then I also did get a second Basilisk head, but that's it. Otherwise, that's everything. I am going to gear up. Unfortunately, we have to use specific weapons for Turoths, so I'm going to go grab a leaf-bladed spear. It's slightly lower level, lower tier than the Dragon Simmies I'm using. It's tier 50 instead of tier 60. But I'm going to go grab some food and make our way to Turoths, and we can start getting our first kills. I need to stop attacking. I just got the light mystic robe bottoms from these Turoths. Technically, we could consider ourselves a little unlucky because there are 2 1 in 5 12 drops and then 2 1 in 2k drops, being the 2 leaf bladed swords and the Turoth boots and the light mystic bottoms that we just got. Overall, I went somewhere around 400 kills, 357 plus 41, so 398 kills total to get those. So a little unlucky technically because of the way math works with having two 1 in 512 drops, but I really don't mind. It wasn't that bad. I hope I don't get Turoths again soon. I don't want to see these Fremnik Province Slayer tasks because I would like to get some better levels and stuff first, or at least the Vampirism aura to help out. War's Retreat would be really nice as well as a better teleport, especially with the prayer restoration, but that's 200 boss kills as well, so no guarantee that we get that. But that is our task, so I can come over here. I believe I said 498, or 398. I'm not going to do the math again because I don't want to pull up rune metrics again. And we got the Mystic Robe bottom. The three other things in this section are from Turoth. It's the boots, the sword, and the offhand sword. I do think that we don't complete all of Turoth's in this tier. I think we leave 1 or 2 uniques, so I'll check that in a second. But we can complete this task and get a new one. This new one is also something I don't really enjoy. Back to Fish Flingers to get another piece of the outfit. So this is, it's straight up like a couple hours probably. Fun. But while I'm here, let me search for Fremnik Province Slayer and see how many are left in the easy tier for us. 14 and 15, so we get 2 more uniques. So we're going to need to get one of the swords and then Turoth boots, most likely is how it's going to happen. But that means we're going to have 2 more trips back to Turoth's. But yes, our current task is to do some fish flingers, so time for me to get to it. It took forever to get all of these tokens, especially considering I ran out of fish flinger tickets and couldn't play the game anymore. So I pretty much just had to, I tried to get more from fishing. I fished a few hundred lobsters and didn't get anything. So I just had to wait until reset until he would give me 2 more. But here we go. We have the fishing waders. I'm immediately destroying them. And don't worry, you can always reclaim these from one of the fishermen. But that is the end of this task. Thankfully, fish flingers is not very fun. And we grabbed the pants, the waders. We can complete this and get a new task. If it wants to... There we go. We're back to Turoth. Okay. Like I said earlier, I don't have the best gear for this, but let's do it. Quite a bit, but I did just get the Turoth boots at the start of this trip, basically. I'll have to double check my rune metrics quick, but 992 plus 89, so almost... basically 1100 KC. $1081 for those boots. I did get 3 other mystic bottoms. No blades yet, obviously. But we can come to the task site, grab the Turoth boots, mark that off at, what did I say, 1089? That sounded right. And complete this task, and then get a new one and move on to that one. The new one, I need 36 archaeology, which I have, and then I need to complete the Zamorak archaeology collection. That should be relatively easy to do. I'm just going to need to get all of the artifacts and restore them all and then turn them in. So I'll see you in a bit. All of the artifacts have been acquired. I just made the run all the way down here through Taverley Dungeon to the Black Knight's area. We can turn everything into a Sora here. That's helping us with some other stuff with collectors. We get some crow notes as well, which is great. But we get the Abyssal Thread, which we can combine with a large pouch that I purchased from the Runecrafting Guild. I have the level 50 that's needed to enter from before, and now we can go turn it in to the obelisk. And that will be the end of our task. It's also just an overall good one to have for doing rune crafting. This is the one, as you can see, when using rune crafting pouches, they don't degrade. So in the future, when we have to do rune crafting, that'll be a good one to have and to keep in mind. But let's come on over to the task site. We'll mark this one off. Get a new task. Hopefully it's a good one. Obtain the super explosive shaker. We need to do Kenneth's Concerns and mine 100 rubium. Kenneth's Concerns might have... I know for a fact it has Rex. I just don't know if we've done any of them yet. Now we have to do the Slug Menace, which requires Sea Slug, and then Kenneth's Concerns. So we've got 3 quests to do. The slug is about to be completed. I just need to return back to the mainland and then talk to Caroline. But that is going to be the first quest. I don't know if this is going to give us a fishing level. It's like 7k fishing XP. It would have been nice really early on, but we have gotten a few fishing levels today anyway from doing fishlingers so much. No level, and that's fine. But we do now have to move on to Slug Menace and then Kenneth's Concerns. Slug Menace should be completed as soon as we talk to Sir Tiffy here. One more quest to go after that, and then we need to mine 100 rubium to put in the shaker. But it doesn't actually take too long. The quest takes longer because of the everybody's favorite RuneScape stealth mechanics. They always work so well. 3,500 crafting, rune crafting, and thieving XP. I doubt I'm getting a level in any of them. I did not. Close to a crafting level, but not quite. But yes, we just have to do Kenneth's Concerns now, which I believe I've got the levels for. And it gives a decent amount of mining XP and an okay amount of agility. But yeah, let's get to it. We are coming up on the end of the final quest for this task, Kenneth's Concerns. As stated, 12k mining XP, 5k agility XP. That's about it for actual useful things. And then we can also mine the rubium, which is what we need for our task. So after we finish this, I'm going to have to head to a Slayer Master, purchase the super fishing explosive shaker, and then come back and mine all of the rubium and put it in. On the bright side, you don't have to make like trips or anything. If you just keep the unfilled shaker in your inventory, it will just because you can add in the rubium as you get it, you know. But otherwise it's a pretty simple and easy task. We did get 50 mining, no agility level. Let me bank all of this useless stuff I don't need anymore. But yeah, I just need to purchase the shaker from the Slayer Master. Turiel's right here, so I'll grab it from him. The super explosive flask. Yep, make sure you buy the correct one. This one, if you look at the info, putting 100 rubium into this will complete the shaker. So let's buy this, and then I'm gonna go fill it. I believe that should be the final piece of rubium that we needed. We filled the shaker. We can add it to our tool belt. Can't get it back, but that's all it's useful for. And that is the end of this task. We had to do a few quests, but they weren't a big deal. And let's move on to our next one. Generate a new task. Easy clues. I'm not a fan of clues. Let's go check the bank and see how many scrolls I have currently. I don't think it's very many, if I remember correctly. I've got 2 scrolls. Do I even have the bag? I do not. And in terms of caskets, I have 1 hard casket. That is it. And then if I grab my placeholder of the book here, we're at exactly 5 uniques. So I'm gonna have to gather some clues and then come back and open them after I do some. I'm probably going to gather up to 25 and then do a whole stack. These clues have hated me on this account so far, but maybe my luck will change around. Doing these easy clues is going to have to wait until next episode, though. I just finished editing what I've got so far, and this video is over the 2-hour mark, so you're going to have a lot of content to watch. But I don't think adding this task is worth it at this point. I need to collect the clues, do some clues, and I'm once again probably going to be unlucky with them. So, but if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel. That way you will see every time a new video comes out. I know it's been over basically 2 months since anything has come out, but things should happen more regularly now because I am no longer planning a wedding or doing the school program that I was doing, in which I wasn't even at home. So please consider subscribing, and I hope you enjoyed the video.